So this is a new digi-download set which is available on my website now. This is called Wings. So as you can see, we have a beautiful vintage kind of belly dancer, exotic dancer, and I've teamed her up with two different sets of beautiful angel wings. Now, if you like to cut out and do all the bits yourself, I have provided you on a separate sheet with just the image of our lovely lady with the two separate pairs of wings that you can also use for other projects. Now today I'm going to use this one, and I'm also going to use this quote down at the bottom which says, "I'll spread my wings and learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky." So I'm going to go away and cut this out. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me cut it all out because that's just dead boring apparently. So I'm going to cut it out and I'll be right back when that's done. So there's my Titania, that's what I've nicknamed her, all cut out. I've also gone around the edges with a vintage photo distress marker just to hide those raw white cut edges. So she's all ready to go. I'm going to put some music on and I'm going to get started. So starting with an 8x8 digipaper, this is from the Get Lost set on my website at the moment, and I'm just going to tear it into 3 strips and glue it down, leaving a little gap in between the fragments just to give it a kind of old torn map appearance. It will get covered over with paint later on, so I'm not particularly bothered about getting it exact, so I just want to give it that kind of torn old effect. My base card is a 300 GSM, which is £140 watercolour cardstock from Winsor & Newton, and I've just cut it at 8 inches by 8 inches. I've also sorted out a collection of ephemera bits that I have to one side that I'm going to use to create 2 clusters, one in the bottom left hand side of my page and one in the top right hand side of my page. And as you will see, one of the benefits of using this multi-purpose spirit glue from COLLALL is the fact that it does allow you quite a lot of wiggle room with the glue before it actually grabs and sets, which enables you to place items down onto your page and then manoeuvre them about until you're happy with them. So as you'll see me adding stuff down onto the page and then I'm moving it, lifting it off, moving it, sliding it, just to get it into the right position, and that's one of the great benefits of using this type of glue. Now that my clusters are in place and I'm happy with the layout, I'm going to bring in my heat gun and just give it a waft over the top, which will help just set the glue in place so that it's now not going to move. And next I'm going to cover the whole lot with gesso. But don't worry, I am going to water it down so that some of the pattern and the writing and all that texture and lovely background will show through. It's not going to disappear completely. I will give it more than one coat, and I will dry using my heat gun in between, but only in certain areas. And then once I'm happy with it, I will actually bring in a baby wipe, and I will just remove some of the gesso in some areas just to bring the pattern back to the surface again. And when I'm happy with it, I will just bring that heat gun back again just to set it to make sure that it's all dry before moving on. Next out come my NEOCOLORs, and I'm going to very lightly apply the NEOCOLORs to the page, and then using just the moisture from a baby wipe, just slightly moistening the brush end, I'm going to activate the colour on the page. I'm not using let's just say wet water. I know that sounds funny, but you'll know what I mean. I'm actually just using the residue from a wet wipe to activate it. I'm not using full-on water, if you know what I mean. I suppose you could call this technique a not quite dry brush. And whilst I was doing this, I thought to myself, I wonder what would happen if, rather than putting the NEOCOLOR directly onto the page and then activating it using the moisture from the baby wipe, if I applied some of the NEOCOLOR to my glass mat and then activated it on the glass mat using the moisture from the baby wipe, could I pick the colour up from the glass mat and then add it onto my page? So I decided to give that a try as well. And that worked just as easy. And what I like about doing that kind of technique is that you can actually use very subtle colours, and you can gradually build up the depth of the layers in between each colour that you want to. So you can add lighter or darker shades wherever you want to, and just gradually build up that kind of depth of colour overlay that you want using these NEOCOLORs. It's a cool technique. So I'm really happy with the colour build-up on the page, so it's now time to add my lovely Titania. So again, I'm going to add her onto the page just using that spirit glue, and that means I can position her exactly where I want her before that glue grabs. So now she's set in place, it's time to start building the colours up around her as well. So I'm just going to activate one of the white ones, the white NEOCOLOR, and I'm just going to lightly brush over the wings to try and incorporate her more into the background, or just to kind of blend her more into the background. So I will be introducing some other colours as well as a little bit of gesso just to cover and kind of just knock back the colour of her wings a small amount. And of course you have to remember I have printed this image off on my inkjet printer, so I can't get her too wet, otherwise the colours will run. Now I know her face looks a little bit dark at the moment, but once she's dry it'll lighten back up again. Next I'm going to use one of the darker NEOCOLORs just to kind of create a kind of drop shadow and ground her onto the page. I'm just going to use that same almost dry brush technique around the outside of her wings and her body. And next up I'm going to use some of that watered down gesso with my brush and just to add some white splatters into the background and just to kind of try and make the page more cohesive and pull it all together. Next up I want to add a little bit of pattern into the background as well, so again I'm going to be using the gesso with a little bit of water to it, and then the HARLEQUIN stencil from TCW, and using a cosmetic sponge I'm just going to add some of that lovely patterning just in 3 areas around my page. So once I've completed this, I'm actually going to leave her to dry for about an hour while I go off and have some lunch. Now that I'm all fed and watered, it's time to add my quotes to the page, which I've already cut out from the sheet when I cut out my titania. And I'm just going to stick the word blocks down onto the page using the triangle glue stick, collage glue stick from Ranger. And then to try and blend those white word blocks into the page a little bit more, I'm going to use these new charcoal pencils that I've recently purchased from my local craft store, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that colour underneath and around each of the word blocks, and then just blend it with my finger. And one of the reasons why I picked up this set of charcoal pencils was because it has dark ones, light ones and mediums, and there's even a white charcoal pencil in there. Yeah, I'd never heard of one either. And of course, charcoal being charcoal, it's very, very easy to blend with your finger, and I can see me using these time and time again, but of course I had to try out that white. And yeah, it gives a really nice, very, very subtle highlight. Like it a lot. To finish off the page, I thought it did need a border, so I decided to bring out my trusted potting soil archivaling and using one of the circular ink blending foams, go all the way around the outside of the page just to give it that kind of finishing frame effect. So very happy with the way this page has turned out. So all that I need to do now, just to finish off, is to sign and date it. And now I can call this page done. So I hope you really enjoyed watching this art journal page come together and that you will love Titania and the Wings set as much as I do. If you did enjoy the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Share the video with all your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the very end of this video. But before I disappear off, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, this video would not have been possible. Thank you. It's all from me for now. I'll see you all again real soon. Bye for now.